Alright, I'm back. Hello everyone, my name is Kazari Kudo and welcome back to Reverse 1999 Chapter 9 Folie at Déraison. So aim today I'm going to finish the remaining. Hopefully I can do it because it's really long. I think I plan to finish it today, yeah. Well, it's my story, so naturally it's going to be really long. So yeah. So my aim today is to finish this one. And if you miss what's going on last time, so basically Ferdinand and Soneto is still trying to chase or find Professor or Doctor Professor Earth, and for some reason the Professor Earth is running to some of this prison where everybody just also obsessed with literature and everything. And during the journey they meet with Recoleta, which is also want to get inside the prison because there is a pen pal inside and she want to meet them. So eventually we are getting to know all of the prison with all the prisoner, and they're just of course natural, they're just freaking crazy. And at some point one of the leader, what we call as the idealist, was got shot and suddenly the body is gone. Some people think that he goes to the physician, but apparently it's not, which is physician is probably like the pen pal for the Recoleta. That's what I get. I think yeah, the physician will be Aleph, which is the second 6-star that's going to be released on the second half of the event or the story. And we still haven't met with the Aleph yet, but he already showed on the last part of the previous stream what it was revealed that he actually also have like dual personality, where I think the physician probably Dr. Martin and Aleph is someone, the other personality. That's what I'm grasps. And we start to being shown like how weird is the prison is being run, especially like they're kind of like facing this situation where they are running out of ration and food and everything, and the way they efficiently like distribute it to the prisoner is using a dice or a dice, if you don't know, using a dice and just leave it to the fate. And somehow the result of the dice is the same like the story that Recoleta is written, which is what a coincidence. It's like Recoleta is write a story, and everything that she wrote on her novel or on her novel is actually happen on the prison. Oh hey Julian, hello. I was just trying to explain like what happened last time. Yeah. So yeah. So I think we're going to start to, I think at the end of the stream last time we are going to see the physician now, because we already proven like, hey, look at my book, like look at my novel, everything happened in my book is happening in the prison right now, like to literally that Recoleta can guess the result of the dice that being thrown by the prisoner exactly. So yeah, so we're probably gonna start first with the sad story of Doris. After that I attended several more literary salons and wrote things I had never dared write before. Miss Octavia, however, never made an appearance. I didn't see her for quite some time. That was until I followed some prisoners to a large hall and heard her voice among a group of unfamiliar inmates. She noticed me and greeted me warmly. She told me she had been working on some new initiatives. She told me of her hopes to gather more support to improve conditions in the prison and initiate a spiritual shift toward realism and resistance. I truly believed back then that everything was heading in the right direction. Before all eyes, the host of the assembly, the idealist, steps up to the podium. By the randomness of fate. So the randomness of fate is the part where they throw the dice. They call it the randomness of fate. We have gathered here to participate in the Komala Congress. Before the eyes of destiny, historians and astrologers alike, I now declare a new rule amendment. A duel before a crowd of eager eyes. The winner awarded 10 pounds of gold and the loser left with 10 flies to descend to upon him. Now here's the thing. If you remember when we are going like the three of us, the Fertin, Soneto And Recoleta, when Recoleta trying to tell the story, this part is in her books. So it's become reality again. Before the Komala Congress convenes, we shall assign to member of La Sociedad this noble mission, a duel decreed by fate. Doris hear the faint cling of a small object rattling inside the box. Jose, Julio, step forward and draw the sharpest blade of your literary thought. According to the rules, I will preside over this duel with fairness and impartiality. Now, prepare yourself. The absurd fictional metaphysical duel ends with a fraction of a second. The victorious prisoner receives 10 shining golden pills while the loser collapses to the floor. The crowd erupts into chaos. Octavia cries rising above the noise.
What's going on?
Mr. Julio, he's having another seizure.
Miss Erd, please, Julio needs your help.
Octavia, you know this is all part of the randomness of fate. The randomness of fate? She doesn't argue back as she usually would. Instead, she stands frozen in place as if stunned. What's the matter, Miss Octavia? This is an emergency. I require assistance. Wait, if that's the case, the randomness of fate has just been done like 3 days ago? Answer me, Octavia. Why are you trying to change Julio's fate? Because no one should die like this. And Octavia is just become the opposing faction within 3 days?
I don't want him to die.
Please, Miss Octavia, help me so I can help him.
Her voice cracks, leaving only the sound of her stifled sobs lingering in the air. What's wrong, Miss Octavia? How's his condition now? Miss Octavia? She remains silent. After a long pause, she casts the heavy stone into the bottomless water. Miss Earth.
Mr. Julio is gone.
He
left us the moment the duel was over.
How could that be? Seizure can potentially lead to irreversible brain damage, but how could it happen so fast? A precious life, gone so quickly, swept away by something so senseless, lost in a nonsensical duel. What exactly is this so-called Congress? Some kind of punitive system unique to Komala prison? But how can someone's life be decided by something so absurd? Are we simply meant to surrender to a fate so twisted, no matter how absurd it is? Is it so irrefutable? This isn't the fate I seek, it's a distortion of it. It's my fault for not finding a better way. I used to think Mr. Julio didn't care about anything but his own novels. I never imagined my ideals would mean anything to him. But he was the first person in La Sociedad to support me. But that really was an irreversible fate, a fate granted to Mr. Julio by the die of Babylon. The die of Babylon? The question is left unanswered. The host of the salon goes on. Julio has stepped off the endless staircase and reached the salon water. He has become as calm water, dissolved into his own pond. Let us offer our blessing, our silence, our farewell to this martyr of fate. And let us imagine that Julio's literary career was a happy one. The hall remains deadly silent. No applause, no response.
A life is taken, and that's all you have to say?
You really don't care whether we live or die, do you, idealist? And all of you, don't any of you have anything to say? Why are you all just standing there? If we hadn't kept rejecting the physician treatment, maybe Mr. Julio wouldn't have rejected. How ridiculous. You have no clue what that demon in human skin is capable of. How he will reach into your mind and mold it like clay, reshaping it until it becomes your prison. In the realm of fiction, fate, and unreality, the dissolution of the ego is inevitable and irreversible. Therefore, we must not resist the ending dealt to us by the die of Babylon. Do you even know what you are talking about? I've never truly understood you, idealist. Can I just say I am 100% never understood what is the idealist talking about. I will find a better way. I must rewrite this tragic tale. I think this chapter is inspired of Backroom and Outlast. I do agree. That's my first impression when I play it. It's like Outlast. I'm not too familiar with the Backroom though. If you disagree, then leave La Sociedad. I will not have our great poem disrupted by an offbeat syllable. Besides, your tedious talk of social responsibility should have been purged long ago. Modern Latin America belongs to visceral realism, and you are too ignorant to even attempt to seek it out.
What a ridiculous, laughable man you are!
Yes, I see it clearly now. It's your tyranny that has driven everyone to ruin. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not leaving. I will establish a new literary movement right here in Comala, right here in La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas. So she make it right now. I mean, she made it around 3 days ago, right? And then she also still using the randomness of fate. That doesn't make any sense. And I know we will use our literature to rescue the inmates who suffer all around us.
I've had enough of your condescending stone-hearted ego and your pompous sophistry. He'll only bring misfortune upon us with his constant rambling about that visceral realism.
What the hell is visceral realism? I haven't looked at that word before. Like, what is it talking about? Maybe I can understand more if I find out what it means. I hope I never see you again, Miss Earth. Oh, Miss Earth, you have to get you out of here. Another second round, this maniac may just doom us all. Is that what happened to Miss Earth? She's no longer in the prison?
Only the physician, the true overseer of this prison, can save us from this situation. Please join our society, Miss Torres.
Help us build a renewed Sociedad de Puestas together. I've already spoken with the jailer. As long as we follow the rules and help them manage Comala, we will be free to discuss literature.
Forgive me, Miss Octavia. While I truly appreciate your kind offer, I'm afraid my conversation with the physician must remain private.
Why?
Please answer me this question first. From what you've seen, you will say this prison is circular in shape, yes?
Yes.
Then tell me, at the center of this structure, is there a watchtower? What? Impossible! You guessed it exactly, and our destination is somewhere inside that watchtower. How did you know?
I've had such a lovely time here. So much so that I almost forgot what I came for.
Which is precisely why I must put an end to this cruel farce masquerading as fate. Do you intend to rebel against the watchtower gaze, just like the idealists? You misunderstand me, Miss Octavia.
That inescapable gaze, and the permanent theme of fate.
To get closer to the truth I seek, I have no choice but to meet the administrator that young lady spoke of.
You've decided to save the people here with your own hands, in your own way, and so have I. There are things I must face alone.
She starts to sound like Morden indeed. Though she is well used to death, the pain of Julio passing still lingers in her heart, causing her to say these words that don't quite feel like herself.
I see.
Lend me your palm.
Lend me your palm.
Oh.
I'll draw you the way to his office. Good luck to you. And to all of us.
Farewell, Miss Octavia. I truly hope all goes well for you in the days ahead.
As Octavia retreats, slowly fading into the distance, she quietly adds,
And in your journey, finding answers about fate, too.
So chances are maybe Doris no longer in here. Okay, time to meet the physician. An otherwise tidy room is covered in fine scratches and small unidentifiable stains. The smell of disinfectant lingers in the air, mixed with mild dew.
Wait here a moment. I'll report the situation and your request to Dr. Merlin. However, since he's always busy, I can't guarantee he'll agree to meet you, but I'll do my best to persuade him.
The jaguar figure slinks out through the inner door.
Now's our chance, Sonetto.
Oh?
Our chance? What do you mean, Timekeeper?
Not even Sonetto knows.
It's unlikely that the jailer will let us search the central tower, even in this situation. We should take the initiative and look for clues while she's away.
I see, Timekeeper. I will do my best.
Sonetto swiftly conducts a thoroughly unauthorized search. Wow, Sonetto breaking the rules?
Thank you for your assistance, Miss Recoleta. Without your precise predictions, we wouldn't be standing here now. I haven't yet grasped the connection between the die, your novel, and what's happening in this place. But, by process of elimination, it's almost certain that your pen pal, Aleph, is right behind this door.
Sometimes I envy your decisiveness, Vertin. I'm sure many people have praised this special talent of yours.
Are you all right? You don't seem as excited as when we first entered Kamala.
Recoleta holds her gaze on the tightly shut door, uncertain whether she hopes it will open now or ever again.
The all-seeing sentinel of the Panopticon, veiled within the central tower. If it truly is Aleph, I don't know how to face such terrifying and increasingly plausible reality.
Sorry to interrupt, but... Timekeeper, I think you'll want to see these.
Signed Erd. This is a letter from Dr. Dorez.
The delicate signature matches the one in the manuscript folder.
Her handwriting, it's as beautiful as I'd imagined. Who is it addressed to? Dear Mr. Aleph. Aleph?
Looks like Dorez and Aleph are acquaintances. Or at least, they've had some correspondence. Dear Mr. Aleph, my apologies if this reaches you at an inconvenient time. I am Dorez, pen name Erd, an ordinary inmate of the Panopticon of Kamala. I write seeking your guidance, if you wouldn't mind offering it to me.
I heard from the physician, Dr. Merlin,
that
you have the answer to every question. A statement which has been echoed by the idealist and the other inmates. I have something I wish to ask you. What exactly is your role at the prison? Chief Warden? A secret backer? An observer who dominates the prison? Are you truly the supreme ruler of the Panopticon of Kamala?
Deity opened the next letter, eager to read on.
Dear Erd, I do indeed have answers for every question, including yours. I'm afraid every one of your speculations is off the mark. I am merely an inmate who chose to imprison himself here. And allow me to point out that your identity isn't as ordinary as you claim. Why is it that you, my fellow inmate and guest of Manus Vindictae, are so interested in Kamala?
Dr. Dorez, a guest of Manus Vindictae.
A muffled shattering of glass interrupts their reading.
It came from inside the room. Do you think they're okay?
Oh no.
The jailer and the physician! What happened?
The door defies any attempt at an answer, sealing all the events from view.
I'm not sure, but it could be bad. Come on, let's go in and see if they're all right.
Are they fighting? The unlocked door leads to another room, more decrepit and oppressive than the last. A cold operating table lies in the center, surrounded by scattered bottles and medical instruments.
It seems we've stumbled upon the physician's...
The physician's office. I should have known. But is this an operating room? As if this prison wasn't bizarre enough already.
Inside the narrow operating room, the Jaguar reacts badly to their intrusion.
Didn't I tell you to wait outside? What do you think you're doing barging in like this?
We were just worried about your safety, jailer.
Enough. Get out of...
Quiet.
Oh, here we go.
The reptilian complex governs all our fundamental functions.
What is that?
Our heartbeat, breathing, fight or flight responses, and our territory and hierarchy awareness. Our primitive ancestors, like reptiles and birds, followed such instincts to survive. Through millions of years of evolution, we developed the limbic system. This processes emotions and forms memories. It allows us to feel fear, sadness, anger, joy. Our behaviors are given meaning. Now it's the neocortex that makes up more than 2/3 of our total brain volume. Language, perception, logical reasoning, abstract thought. This is what forms the complexity of human nature. We read, create, perceive. We try to understand both the world and ourselves. We are forever setting goals, one after another. And all this, these multitudes, happens within the confines of the skull, in the tight folds of the crowded cerebral cortex.
Is he performing surgery?
Such a delicate and elaborate organ.
What is that? That's a head?
Were it unable to forget, what would come of it? Can this space, no larger than the palm of my hand, truly accommodate dozens of people at once?
At last, the physician sets down his operating scissors and needle, signaling the end of the surgery. Yet at the same time, the old machine issues an alarm, signaling that his patient's vital signs are wavering.
What's happened to the patient? It looks like he's dying.
Oh, it's a person. Her anxiety rises as the question goes unanswered. On the screen, the last waveform disappears, leaving only a constant flat tone.
¿Fracasó la cirugía?
Nonsense. The surgery was a tremendous success.
What success?
I have erased his debilitating hysteria and restored order to the Panopticon.
The hell? That's not how you treat...
What are you trying to achieve by barging in here?
Success by killing these people. The man behind the operating table stares at the uninvited guests expectantly but doesn't give them a chance to respond.
Forget it. The next operation requires my attention.
You're gonna kill more people.
Jailer, show them out. Bring me the next patient in 15 minutes.
I'm sorry, Miss Burton. I'm afraid you have to leave now.
No, be more insistent. Recoleta steps forward, blocking their path. There's a hint of pleading in her voice.
Please, just let us speak with you. It'll only take a moment. I have something very important I need to ask.
Her question is not given time to take shape.
Important. Nothing is of greater importance than my experiments in the Panopticon, outsiders. To ensure they continue, the stability of time and schedule is absolutely paramount.
Experiments in the Panopticon? So you really are the controller of the prison, then?
Controller? What an outdated notion. Superficial, really. The Panopticon has no need for such power, regardless of who occupies the central tower, or even if no one's there at all. Every inmate is both the observer and the observed, both wielders and subjects of power. Achieving such a state requires no physical or violent measures. The structure of the panopticon itself is the mechanism which sustains it. Komala is simply a manifestation of this model. Once I confirm its feasibility and adaptability, this model can be applied to any functional setting with only minor modifications. So far, it has proven to be far superior to any current system of governance in our world, transcendental even. Curse it. Why am I wasting time explaining this to you? Time is running out.
The investigator keenly senses the key within his word.
Dr. Merlin, you keep mentioning time. What exactly do you mean by that?
Really? You need to ask? Even those oily-headed lunatics know it. The end of this era is imminent, is it not?
Indeed, the word that was so close to being spoken.
You know about the storm?
How did he know about the storm?
That's what you call it, is it? A storm that washes everything away? You employees of the St. Pavlov Foundation should know better than I. Soon, this era and everything in it will cease to exist. I must prove the feasibility of the Panopticon model before this place is turned to ruins, or something even more unrecognizable.
A storm that washes everything away? Verton, what on earth are you two talking about?
The conversation extends beyond even the most imaginative creation of the aspiring writer.
No one can predict the era to which we will be reversed.
You even know that far.
I have seen the eras change time and time again. The transformation of this place, over and over. But no matter which era each of these 9 storms, as you call them, has taken us back to, Cordeismo continues to plague this land. Dependency theorists, martyred revolutionists, I've seen them all. You, young writer, are no different from those intellectuals who were swept away in the rain.
Wait, how? So what does it mean? He survived 9 storms or something?
There is no romance in this era. Only the repeated cycles of
Is he
madness
immune?
and brutality. An endless, meaningless struggle. Only in this forgotten corner can we momentarily escape the plundering of the marauders and the chaos they unleash. Although it won't be long before this place is looted by those oily-headed lunatics. Just as it has countless times before on this land as rich as silver.
He mutters to himself.
But there is still hope. Even in a wasteland, we may still be saved. As long as I uncover the path to transcendentality, I will find the ultimate answer. Ugh, I've already wasted far too much time on you. Leave, now!
The physician turns away, beginning preparation for the next surgery, organizing his worn-out instruments.
You heard him. Please don't press things any further.
All right, Senora, I get it. Obviously, you don't want to discuss my novel with me anymore, so I won't insist upon it. All the letters we wrote to one another, all those inspiring revisions and suggestions, I guess they meant nothing to you.
Her voice wavers. Rejection, closed door, harsh critique. This proved more devastating than all of them together.
But there's still something I must tell you. Jailer, could you please allow us a private conversation with the No. With Aleph.
Hearing this, the physician stops.
Leave us, jailer. I'll spare these outsiders 5 minutes.
Oh. The jaguar turns to leave, her face revealing an uncharacteristic sorrow as she lingers on the grass one last time. This time she offers no words. If something happened to Recoleta, we riot. No, I riot. Only the steady beeping of a heart monitor keeps the eerie silence at bay.
Dr. Merlin, or should I say Aleph, I don't know why you're using my novel to manipulate the Panopticon. But you need to know that it won't serve your purpose, whether in fiction or reality. You claim that the inmates are both the observer and the observed, and both wielders and subjects of power. How could you be so blind as to not see the true state of the Panopticon? The inmates haven't achieved any perfect order. No, they've devolved into pitiful caricatures of themselves, performers in some endless pantomime to be watched from the central tower. Even their medication has become a prop to demonstrate the so-called randomness of fate in the theater that is the Panopticon. This farce hasn't made the Panopticon a better place. No, it has warped it into a twisted theater of cruelty, where the sick are denied treatment and left to quietly perish in the dark corners of its halls. And literature has died alongside them. This prison is a monster, born under the gaze of this all-seeing power. Aleph, is this truly the ultimate answer you've been searching for?
The physician suddenly seems startled, stepping back and accidentally knocking over his tools.
What? Are you suggesting that this is the answer I've reached? That my experiment has been a failure all along, and I've been too blind to see it? No, impossible. Foucault's theory is flawless.
Who? Having his life work denied is something he cannot tolerate. The man searches the tabletop with feigned composure, but in doing so, he unintentionally sweeps all the surgical tools onto the floor.
I have removed every obstacle to the running of this prison. It is pure, sacrosanct. I have constantly re-evaluated the system, adjusting my instructions to my subordinates to ensure the most efficient maintenance of the established order. And now, you stand here and tell me that everything I've done has been meaningless from the very beginning?
The truth.
That the power model I have implemented has already been replaced by an alternative? No, outsiders. The perfect order of the Panopticon shall not be disrupted. I will not be swayed by your lies.
Perfect order.
This facility is superior to all others. Nothing here escapes my notice.
At last, in a barely noticeable corner, he finds the 20-sided die read in black mist.
That said, it isn't easy to work a miracle, as we all know.
You.
I shall personally verify it.
Oh.
All myself.
All of his emotion dissolve as he grips the die. The narrow operating room shakes, as if responding to him, emitting a distorted screech.
What's happening?
Even
Visitors from another era. You have come here with plagued ideologies in an attempt to break the subtle balance of the Panopticon. But did you not notice the tiles beneath your feet? The cracks and water stains on the walls, constantly changing right before your eyes. This room, the previous room, every room, you have blindly wandered through them, seeing them as nothing more than the building blocks of a monotonous labyrinth. But this place was not born from the chaotic imaginings of a madman. No. Every inch has been crafted through the meticulous harnessing of order and power. Every wisp of spider silk drifting in the wind. Every speck of rust on the gallery rail. Every detail of the Panopticon has been built by my own hands. With this ever-shifting die, concepts may be transformed into reality,
and ideals into substance. I observe the movement of every entity, the passage of every second. The moment you entered this realm, you too became subjects of my experiment.
Whoa, this sounds like a boss battle.
Field check complete.
We are in
Move
on
careful.
space now. I forgot to bring healer.
Admit it. This is all getting out of hand.
This is Aleph.
Impossible! All is under the Dai's control.
That was Aleph. So this one is Dr. Merlin.
What may appear to be chaos is nothing more than a temporary deviation.
Okay.
Más allá del concepto mundano del tiempo. En la acumulación de laberintos.
Should have to
Suéltalo
activate
todo
Liang
una vez más.
Yue instead. Oh! That was
It's
easy.
special, precise, perfect.
It is far from perfect. You know that as well as I.
So Aleph seems pretty sane.
Why else would we be conducting this experiment?
Case closed. I'll be sure to write a
I can
report and
imagine
put
that
it on your
she that
table.
easy. Boom, Recoleta, watch it.
This happened when the Idealist was attacked too.
To think we've been trapped in a prison fabricated by a Dai all this time. Did the physician really build all this with such a small, simple object?
What is that die then?
The distortion is getting worse. Prepare yourselves to fight or flee.
The situation begins to spiral out of control. Now everything in the room screeches and twists until they become a mess of a meaningless black and white lines.
Please, Dr. Merlin, stop this.
Let's flee.
You're asking for the impossible. Power model of the Panopticon is destined to permeate all of society. Such insignificant interferences could never plunge it into chaos.
But it already has, Merlin. You failed.
I have not failed, and as long as I keep the prison running.
The physician fiddles with the die, muttering baffling and incoherent words to himself.
It isn't your power model running the prison. It's the Dai. It's simply a form of magic, unrelated to the microphysics of power you seek. It provides no aid in your experimentation with power. It's a false hope. A castle in the sky given to you by the military junta and Manus
What's
Vindicte.
military junta?
Manus Vindicte? So you really are working with them. What exactly do you intend to do?
Oh, he's gonna take off the mask?
And I've also failed. I've ended up a pathetic fool, lost in the chaos of reality. Just like the idealist chasing visceral realism, Paracelsus seeking the fountain of youth, and Zahir obsessing
Yeah,
over
I'm
the
gonna research
one-sided coin.
Manus Vindicte do all of this. Which one?
When did it all
This
start
specific
falling
one or
apart,
like
Alice?
Manus Vindicte in general?
When the doorknob loosened? When the prisoner's wounds started to fester? Or when the daily disinfectant concentration reached 28 milligrams? Or the crack in the second gray brick on the wall?
I believe Manus Vindicte is just using him. In my
Or
opinion.
was it when Warden Tartuffe left Ushuaia with news of the Foucault Association's dissolution? This place should have been the ideal ground for psychoanalytic practice. Why did they halt all research, all discussion? We've been abandoned, haven't we? By eras old and new. You designed and have maintained everything in Kamala, right down to the smallest detail. But it is these details that trap you. And as the bars close around you, you are losing your name, Merlin. and you're becoming the physician, a man forever imprisoned within these walls. I don't understand. All these false eras are like a dreadful novel with no conclusion. Trying to find answers within such things is, in itself, a mistake. Much like them, you are destined never to attain transcendentality. Tell me, Olive, does the ultimate answer even exist?
The day becomes too heavy for him to hold any longer. It drops to the floor. Wow! How heavy it is. The distortion and tremors of the prison finally subside, as if the pulse of a massive heart had stopped for an instant. Amid the swirling dust, the girl helps each other stand but fail to notice the truth revealing itself before them. It might be fun playing Monopoly with that.
Timekeeper, are you
You can do 20 moves. I think that's the kind of die that you usually use with playing D&D, isn't it?
Yes. And you? And Miss Recoleta? Are you okay? Miss Recoleta?
The smoke clears, but no one responds. The named girl simply stares in shock at the figure before her.
You're...
Oh? 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 Oh?
The word utopia derives from Greek. It means no place.
Is that him? Is that Aleph?
People cannot understand the structure of the labyrinth, yet they continue to follow its paths. They cannot comprehend the mechanics of fate, yet they believe in its jurisdiction. As if, by doing so, everything will naturally fall into place. And now, the polar night approaches. How good it is to see you, pen pal.
Aleph finally showing him his true self. Aleph. Honestly, it looks better than saying physician. He didn't want me to scream. The voice is just so calm and soothing, isn't it?
Where did the physician go? Wait.
They are the same person or their duality?
Sir? Are you?
No one notices when the unfamiliar prisoner appears. He seems calm and almost ordinary, like an unchanging mirror that has stood here all along. In this room, in this labyrinth, passed unseen by everyone. I think you're gonna scream help when he put you in the experiment bed. The answer she now plainly makes her step back in panic. But in the end, she says the name out loud. It sounds heavy, cold, and leaves her at a loss.
Aleph. It's you. My pen pal. You are, in fact, Nkomana. All those letters, all the ideas we shared, they weren't just my imagination or some prank. Vertin, Soneto, it's all just as I told you.
Depend on what kind of experiment, though.
They weren't meaningless. They're all real.
Yet, why does she feel no joy?
So, sir, are you Aleph, the ruler of this prison? Are you the one controlling Panopticon with the die? The one hiding Miss Doris' whereabouts?
What curious inquiries. Quite different from the last 2,666 questions I've received.
Whoa.
My guests, you may call me Aleph, or by any other name, be it a symbol of God's oneness or a farcical epithet. I am merely one of the many prisoners who voluntarily reside here, A single letter in the alphabet of the Panopticon.
A letter? The way you speak is quite different from Dr. Merlin. Still, I wonder what your relationship is with him.
Under the dim lighting, the man looks drained of all energy.
But allow me to make a guess. You're Dr. Merlin, aren't you?
I'm afraid that's not entirely accurate, but you may think of it that way. Merlin is a figment born of my mind, an incomplete reenactment. He is me, yes, but not entirely. He, or rather they, failed to find their answers. They fought against their predestined fates, only to be inevitably crushed under their weight.
I think so.
I simply stood by and watched it all unfold. That was the extent of our relationship.
I mean, not surprising, it's like the mental, it's an asylum.
They?
You've already met Merlin and the Idealist, even witnessed their demise.
Hey, so the Idealist is also him. I knew it.
Shackled by the delusions of verses, the Idealist lost his own name. Merlin, too, imprisoned himself within the system of the Panopticon. I'm sure their desperate pursuits caused you some trouble. Please forgive them. After all, your fleeting encounters led to the demise of them both.
I think I understand now. The Idealist and the Physician are both parts of you. Or, to put it another way, they're your alter egos.
It's so poor compared to the latest. One is like freaking experimental psycho, one is like someone that really like talk in metaphor. This one is very, very calm. It seems the jailer diagnosis that the whole prison is mad has been shown to be more accurate than anyone could have imagined.
The physician mentioned Manus Vindictae. What's the relationship between this prison and the Manus?
Oh, the question. Good job, Soneto.
Visitors from the Foundation. We all witnessed those eras perish. In 1977, not long before the fourth storm, I arrived in Ushuaia. Shortly after, some members of the National Foucault Studies Association reached out to me. But it wasn't just them. An Arcanist organization called Manus Vindictae also approached me. Each of them wanted answers. They named me their advisor.
You acted as an advisor to the Manus?
Whoa.
The two parties presented me with a concept and a parable, respectively.
A concept and a parable?
The Foucault Association sought to explore the feasibility of the Panopticon concept here, while Manus Vindictae showed me a parable of the past and future. Day and night, I wandered through endless texts, endless realities, as I searched for answers. And thus, Merlin was born. He was both an experiment and a price I paid. A new concept, a new direction. Pursuing such things always leaves me confined by the limitations of human knowledge. Merlin spent his entire life exploring Foucault's theories in pursuit of that singular yet infinite answer.
What about the Manus, Mr. Aleph? You didn't explain why you helped them.
Explain why? Because they asked me to, just as you have. I simply worked to answer their questions.
So you're saying that, to you, we are no different from Manus Vindictae? And if we ask, you'll answer us, without holding anything back?
Is that not precisely what is happening this very moment?
Sorry, the pushover. Aleph picks up the fallen die. It flickers with a familiar, comforting glow.
This is what the Manus gave Merlin. A magical die named the Tear of Kamala. It was once a gemstone that belonged to a god. At the beginning of the century, explorers plucked it from an ancient gate they discovered in Antarctica. To the explorers' amazement, the gemstone could turn human desires into reality. So they cut it into a die, a symbol of fate, and used it to build a sanatorium, which was later transformed into the panopticon you are standing in right now.
His words are direct, yet they still leave the outsider perplexed.
Then, Aleph, you really are the mastermind behind the panopticon?
The silent girl grips her notebook. Her knuckles turn white from the pressure. The draft of an unpublished novel, with words that only she knows, the countless hours spent at her desk, the self-reflections, the meticulous questioning, revisions and scrutiny of every word. That book holds the life of its writer.
You said Merlin used the panopticon to seek his answer. What does that have to do with my novel? I don't get it, Aleph. Why would you use my novel to manipulate this place? Roberta, Garcia, Octavia, Pablo, the jailer, everyone. Not one of them deserved to be trapped in a deadly loop in which everyone's fate is already predestined. They're just like the ghosts in Amalfitano, inescapably trapped within the ruins. Tell me, what is it you really want?
Hearing this, the lonely prisoner fidgets with the die, looking puzzled.
It's not about what I want. It's about what you want. The third line of your first letter. You said you wanted to give the rise and fall of sanity an ending.
Los registros históricos del Dado de Babilonia aún se pueden encontrar en la biblioteca de la Universidad Santa Teresa. No. Una apertura como esta haría la historia demasiado ambigua.
So kind of like a yandere that will fulfill that wish, like because of her writing. I'm still trying to figure out Aleph, to be honest.
En 1975, en el pueblo de Amalfitano, Sonora, México,
I can't read your thought.
ocurrió algo terrible
I don't know
y
how
escalofriante
you come that
en la cabaña con
into
el techo
conclusion
azul.
like that.
Todo comenzó con las costumbres peculiares de los Espera, ¿cómo supe todo esto? Necesito agregar un rol para el narrador. El cuentacuentos. Un poeta surrealista de México me contó esta historia. Una anciana entró en el bar, al que solía ir en el pueblo. Al mismo tiempo,
El empleado del banco también entró al bar, trayendo la noticia de que una corporación multinacional iba a construir una fábrica de jabón de galletas en Amalfitano.
Espera, empleado del banco. No sabía que había bancos en Amalfitano. Pero sí, tiene sentido. Los bancos comerciales son, sin duda, un sello del capitalismo. Gracias, amigo por correspondencia. Antes de convertirse en empleado del banco, era un defensor de las antiguas costumbres del pueblo. Era un pescador de dunas.
Después de aceptar el destino otorgado por el Dado de Babilonia, eligió dejar todo atrás. El triste y aterrador pueblo y los ciclos ocultos dentro de la infinita.
Wait, is that how they
oscuridad.
write the novel?
Qué irónico. Pero también es realista. Ahora solo necesitamos un personaje contrastante.
Like they keep sending
Un
and
creyente en
let
el
the others to
destino.
continue.
Una anciana tejedora se sentó en su antiguo taller, girando incansablemente su rueca, un regalo precioso, otorgado por el dado de Babilonia.
La tejedora ciega relató suavemente todo lo que había vivido.
¡Qué idea brillante, Aleph! Una tejedora ciega no podría haber presenciado el asesinato. ¡Fantástico! En este caso, agregaré a un conductor de burros que es asesinado en este capítulo. Con cada una de tus sugerencias, la historia da un paso adelante. Gracias, Aleph. Pero todavía no veo ninguna señal del final. Es como si no importara cuántos personajes nuevos agreguemos. Todavía falta algo en el pueblo desértico.
Lucky driver.
Le falta
Just need to be
una
killed.
figura clave.
Victim of murder.
Aleph, ¿qué debo hacer? ¿Cómo le doy un final a esta historia?
I don't even know who the main character is.
Tú misma me preguntaste, ¿cómo le doy un final a esta historia? Me describiste cómo tus palabras se habían transformado en un rompecabezas desmesurado infinito, un lenguaje irreconocible, una colección de información ambigua y una parábola que había perdido todo su significado. La esencia de un final aún te roe, atrapándote para siempre en ese abrasador pueblo desértico. Todo lo que estoy haciendo es intentar encontrarlo para ti.
How? By simulating the story and then just find out what's gonna actually happen?
¿Estás diciendo que has estado manipulando los acontecimientos en el panóptico desde que intercambiamos cartas por primera vez septiembre pasado?
She struggles, vainly hoping for him to deny it.
Sí, cada vez que revisabas la novela, se hacían ajustes correspondientes en el panóptico. Reflejar fielmente las complejidades de cada detalle era clave para asegurar que la
So the
historia
prison is like a
avanzara sin
simulator or
problemas.
something? You make it like a simulator?
Estos ajustes los manejaba principalmente Merlin, a veces el idealista, y antes de ellos, Zahir y Paracelso.
¿Cada vez?
6 versiones de la historia del Amalfitano ya se han desarrollado en el panóptico.
So they mean with writing recruiting directly against someone? Kind of, yeah.
Eso significa la rana aplastada en el barro, la vaca muriendo de vieja, el lirón cayendo al mar, el fantasma asesinado en el duelo y los cambios repentinos al dado de Babilonia.
The ghost killed in the duel is the one that we play at the beginning, right? The Dores one. Who's Julio? Julio, the dad one?
Todas las revisiones que sugeriste, todas las muertes, el caos
Oh
y la
no!
locura, ¿realmente sucedieron aquí mismo?
What is this death note? The ever-knowing prisoner falls into a long, dark silence. He will not answer a question when the one asking already knows the answer.
Incluso la eternidad tiene sus límites, Recoleta. In the 6th revision, we added the blind weaver, an extraordinary figure.
Wait, is she referring to Dores? Is that why Manus want to give Dores to the prison? To fill in that story? That's why we have to be careful when asking for feedback, because the wake already has a death note.
Just like the paracausality researcher who carries a suitcase that you introduced in your 7th letter.
The paracausality researcher carrying a
Verdun.
suitcase. Miss Recoletta, is this character really based on the Timekeeper?
But she doesn't know Timekeeper though. Is it a coincidence?
What? Of course not. The paracausality researcher is an entirely different character.
Don't you understand? We're only one die roll away from the ending.
Aleph lifts the core of the infinite labyrinth. The tear of Komala soars slowly in his hand.
I don't. What on earth are you trying to do?
The Valmont lamps of the operating room dim in time with his motions. The walls ripple like water, then transform into countless mirrors. Whoa! Where am I? Within the mirrors, an endless stream of information appears. A seemingly possessed telephone babbles, an old radio sings, a flickering slide projector wears and cracks, a muted film projector spins, a timetable opens, and dictionary of countless languages flow past. A room without an exit, an eternal predicament, a prisoner dwelling.
Recoletta, it is the cycle of fate that has brought you to the panopticon of Komala in Ushuaia. Now, return to the rise and fall of sanity. Return and become a character once more. You've been searching for its ending, but how could you possibly find it when you're no longer inside the story? I believe that this time you will witness the grand finale with your own two eyes. No more sadness, no more loneliness. The answer you've long sought lies in the inevitable final row of the die.
So, the jailer is the bank clerk, and Erd is the blind weaver. But what about Roberta, Garcia, and Octavia? They weren't even assigned roles. They were just playthings, helpless in the face of fate. What right do you or I have to decide what happens to them? To dictate their gains and losses?
But they couldn't possibly understand such a thing, could they? To you, it's just a story. But to them, it is the manifestation of bittersweet destiny.
Do you think hiding behind the guise of fiction absolves you from the reality that you've turned the Panopticon into a living hell? Yes. You're the only one who truly understands the rise and fall of sanity. Goodness knows how many manuscripts I sent out that never received a reply. I was so grateful to you. For your replies, for understanding my novel. Those things were more precious to me than any sunrise over the Andes. Had I known that your feedback was created in such a way, and at such a cost, I would have preferred not to receive it at all.
Holy crap.
Don't you get it? Even if they don't understand my novel, the people I meet are still my friends. Whether we took a long journey together, or we simply chatted for a few hours. We formed an inseparable, miraculous bond. They're a part of me. How could you treat them like fictional characters? It's disrespectful to my work, and to life itself.
The writer's resistance is so sharp that it cuts through a less carefully constructed labyrinth easily.
But you raised the question yourself.
That's why when you write literary fiction and it involves such a heavy topic, just know that one who understands is not right in mind.
Why do you resist receiving
Doesn't that
its
make
answer?
the writer also not right in mind? Because how can the writer can come up with such topic? He lowers his head, and for the first time, cracks appear on that indestructible mass. Oh. Are we gonna see his face? Oh.
They're always like this, aren't they? They throw a question at you, only to abandon it along with the fading of the era. This storm will spare no one. You've known it all along, Alice. Only the timeless Panopticon can maintain control. The all-seeing tower. The perfect governing system.
Oh, so do you mean like they're immune if they have the dice?
What a hopeless fool you are, Merlin. Haven't you heard what they say? There is no need to build a labyrinth when the whole world already is one. Your meaningless questions will be swept away by the tides of time, only to resurface on the shores of our minds once more. We've seen it happen over and over again. Surely you've realized by now that the only true meaning can be found in literature. For over a century, literature has remained the singular, ultimate answer. This lonely cowboy is simply feeling lost at the moment. Spare us your ramblings, my dear. You're wasting our time.
Enough.
That enough is just so calm. Enough. The dye that reflects the heart can no longer bear its weight, and it glows from within burning fissures. On the surrounding mirrors, countless reflections of Aleph appear, each wearing a different face. They crowd into the room as a flock of ghosts. So
Aleph seems to be in a terrible state.
your priorities change.
We have to be careful. Something isn't right about that
Whoa.
dye.
I mean, it's from Manus. Something that given by Manus is always something wrong. Whoa! Whoa!
Embrace rather than resist.
Is that Aleph?
Go ahead. Keep the story going.
Oh, is he still alive, the idealist?
Carry it through until we finally feel the sweet gratification of
Wait,
the
are we in
ending.
the ending already?
Your endeavors are doomed to fail. There's only madness in literature and art, not transcendentality.
Please stay behind me. En todos los momentos.
Oh wait, I didn't go to...
Please let me. No. Please stay behind me.
Wait, I'm confused.
Please let me experience you más allá del concepto. Please stay behind me. En la acumulación de laberintos, suéltalo todo una vez más.
I thought you're going to use Liang Yue one. God damn, I was wrong.
Keep up with me. Cosmología, filosofía clásica, el fundamento del mundo. My responsibility.
Oh, there you go.
Deep breath.
Ouch.
Please stay behind. En todos los momentos. Más allá del concepto mundano del tiempo. Right.
I don't know why I used the buff at the end.
Be careful.
Oh,
Nuestro aliado es la
still not the
verdad.
final boss yet, I think.
Do I have to do this? Listen.
Whoa! God damn. You. That's actually really cool. I love it.
Examina más allá del concepto mundano del tiempo. Please lend me your power. No, press progress. En la acumulación de laberintos, suéltalo todo una vez más. A truly villainous moment. Time.
Whoa!
Awaken. This is for us all.
There's a third form? Oh no. Only two.
These explorations, these fractures, they're all failures, aren't they? In this infinite expanse, I feel nothing but infinite sorrow.
Now, to preserve this memory.
I really like the design
in our
of the
dreams.
bosses. That's actually really cool. The chaotic battle comes to an abrupt halt.
Wait! Mr. Olive? Are you human?
Soneto steps back, lowering her glass feather. She is shocked to realize that her opponent has no arcane skill at all. From beginning to end, all he had was the die.
Please hand over the die peacefully.
Mr. Aleph, please stop resisting. It's
I'll
futile.
be you so you won't be lonely. Do you have enough cards here?
Futile. Yes, it's all futile. The cage of rules, the ideals of literature, both are futile. Mere illusions conjured along the path to transcendentality. They all fear that they're nothing more than phantoms in someone else's dream. That reality will devour everything, including their very existence. That's why they drift further away from transcendentality. They couldn't break free from that false dream. None of them could.
Aleph stumbles as he looks up at the storyteller.
Both the physician and the idealist walked toward their own destruction, just as I expected. But your novel still has hope, Recoleta. Its ending hasn't been written yet.
No, there was not ending.
We cannot deny that it may be the answer to achieving transcendentality.
You're not going to stop, are you? Not until you get your answer. Soneto, we have no choice but to seize the die from him by force.
Soneto arcane energy gathers at the tip of her glass feather. At this moment, the silent storyteller takes a step forward.
Enough. I said enough.
Why everybody can just say enough so calmly? She shakes as she reveals the notebook that has never left her side. You mean the death note? That's probably the most powerful arcane tool currently we have. Where are we now? 1990, Guadalajara International Book Fair. People move between bookshelves and corridors, engage in heated conversations. The air is filled with the mingling of multiple languages.
I'm afraid we can't publish your novel in its current state, Recoleta. We look forward to seeing more refined work from you in the future. Ah, Senor Cruz! What a pleasure to see you here. I'm an editor from the Naranja Dulce publishing house. Could you spare a moment to discuss the copyright for The Bluebird? We're huge fans of your children's literature.
The editor leaves, hurrying after another writer, leaving Recoleta standing alone in place. The 17th publisher to reject her today.
Hey, relax, Recoleta. Look at all the books around you. This place is heaven. You can't get down on yourself. Not here.
Wait, she got rejected a lot of time and then now she already on the 7th book. Is she J.K. Rowling? Is she creating Harry Potter right now? Because you already have 7 versions already.
There's so many writers and publishers here. It's only natural you'd be turned down 17 times. This is just the beginning.
The young writer, attempting to forget her 17th rejection, flips through the event guide in her hands. So she's
Now,
gonna read the
which
County
section should I visit
Maybe,
next?
I don't know.
Oh, this
No,
brochure
it was
might
a
help.
revision. It's not actually a series. It's for Recoleta. I'm talking about Recoleta. I'm not talking about J.K. Rowling. She turns to the last page of the thick handbook, where all the invited authors and their contact details are listed.
Estupendo. An exchange of ideas between writers. Nothing could be more incredible than that. I recall James Joyce was inspired by a letter he received from Henrik Ibsen. So, maybe what I need is to find someone to share my manuscript
You know,
with.
I never
but
thought
Who?
language and literature can be this deep. after like playing this event, like what the hell is these people talking about?
Hadeo Emasums. Aleph. Averroes.
A knock at the door interrupts her daydream.
Oh, it's you, senor. Don't worry. I promise I'll catch up on the rent next month. Although I must say, this apartment's hardly worth the price. The cracks on the walls must date back to the last century.
Yeah, and fix the goddamn door.
Make all the
Then I'll
excuses
pay you your
want,
rent.
Greg. If you don't pay the rent soon, you'll either end up in that crumbling colonial building on the corner or on the street selling oranges at the San Telmo market. By the way, Julia told me you lost your job at the textile factory. You under some kind of can't work in one place for more than 3 months,
Dakota
girls, or
complains when she
something,
doesn't even
señorita.
pay the
Oh, you don't even want to know about the terrible things that happened in that
rent.
factory. All I did was lend the oppressed workers a hand.
Bah, you're just like those college kids, full of hot air. Anyway, I am not here about the rent. Didn't you tell me to watch out for your letters a while back, when you just returned from abroad? Well, here it is. A letter for you.
Oh, at least the landlord's still doing nice things. Whoa! You're gonna break the door. The girl freezes for a moment, then snatches the letter and slams the door shut, almost buzzing with excitement as she unfolds it. Give it to me, I will kick her out.
Someone actually wrote back to me. This is incredible. Oh, thank you so much for bringing it to me, senor.
I mean, let's be real. The if this is the actual room, how much you going to charge it? There's not even a toilet inside. This was open the long traveling letter.
Dear Miss Recoleta, it's from, let's see, Aleph.
Oh, this is the start.
Hey, I've been watching you. You're not local, are you?
Oh, this is the girl
What are
from
you
the beginning.
writing? Oh, hola. You're right. I just arrived in Buenos Aires 3 days ago. My trip's been a lot like a Copes tango performance, full of twists and turns, but nothing much worth telling, really.
Did she pay the rent or she ran away?
I'm actually writing
I think she
reply
ran
to my
away.
pen pal. Long story short, I sent him a manuscript of my novel, and to my surprise, he actually wrote back. Amazing, isn't it? In our recent letters, we've been discussing how my novel lacks a key character to drive the story toward a decisive ending. So we've been debating whether to introduce a new ghost to act as a turning point for the story. Oh, so then you're a writer? Hey, Pancho, come over here. I found
There's no
an
way
actual
Dakota can
real-life
write that kind of
writer.
story.
What's the big deal? I wrote plenty of poems in middle school.
Oh, so you're a poet. I have a feeling we're about to embark on an incredible adventure together.
Oh
Are
no,
you interested
that's,
in joining the visceral
that couldn't
realism
have been
movement?
so wrong.
Vis what? I've never heard of it, but it sounds like fun. Fabuloso. We have no time to waste. Once I finish this letter, you two must join me on a journey to Ushuaia.
I feel like from the way this conversation is already different. Like Recoleta really take literature very seriously with enthusiasm and passion, while the rest is just like, it sounds fine. It sounds fun. Let's join. No wonder they left first.
Ushuaia? The end of the world? Why the heck would we go to that icebox?
Oh, don't be such a downer, Pancho. Just think of the fun we'll have, the breathtaking scenery we'll see, and the incredible stories we'll hear.
The focus is different.
Hi, Maria. I'll deal with the cold if you really want to go so badly.
Ooh, somebody has a crush.
By the way, could you tell us about your novel? Of course. I'll tell you all about it on the way. Now where to begin? Alright, let's start with the cottage with the blue roof and Amalfitano.
They must do and they go on a trip. What a world they live in. How is he making friends is that
It's been
easy?
6 months since we first exchanged letters. Since then, I've been traveling. First from Chile to Mexico, then from Mexico to Argentina. And I've never stopped writing. I'm not really sure what the purpose of my novel is. I just keep writing and writing. I can't stop. What power does literature hold? What responsibilities? Perhaps only by continuing to write will I understand one day.
Recoleta flips through her notebook, every turn of the page containing a different colored letter. After their long journey, these pages of letter form a faded riddle, their handwriting long since blurred.
Aleph, you're right. I do want an ending to my novel. But not like this.
You really have no idea, do you, Recoleta?
Oh no, the music start to play. I think there's going to be a twist here. Her only reader realizes she has still not grasped what is happening, forcing him to reveal a truth he has long concealed. Ooh, okay.
The rise and fall of sanity is your story.
What do you mean?
You are a ghost, wandering this forsaken land, still striving to create a miracle. You are a wandering poet, born in Amalfitano, the foolishly brave protagonist of the story, and the embodiment of the author herself.
Is that why he doesn't have a name?
A reflection, yes. The author, no. You are simply a figment of her imagination, a manifestation of her dream to wander. Have you not realized it? The literary pursuits and romantic adventures you described, they are merely faded memories from 1975. The poets who joined the visceral realism movement with you left Latin America long ago.
Faded memories.
As for the novel, it's yours now. A story you're writing. A story about yourself. Your departure has turned Amalfitano into a ghost town. The characters have lost their connection to you. They're gradually fading away. If the novel is destroyed, you too will cease to exist.
Wait. This is... Miss Recoleta? Is what he said true? I know you never lie, pen pal. In your first letter, you told me that a character's role in fate must be determined from the outset and consistently adhered to throughout the story. Reading the perspective and insights of a walking encyclopedia, having such a person be willing to share their thoughts at all was an exhilarating experience. I had never imagined my novel could develop in this way. Words could hardly describe how I felt in that moment. No one but you has ever understood the story of that town, let alone offered any revisions. Following your advice, I added the bank clerk, the dune pescator, the blind weaver, and the murdered donkey driver. Amalfitano was no longer an empty town with a single blue-roofed cottage. The new ghostly residents had begun to fill the skies over it. The story was finally reaching completion. I could feel that the ending was within reach. I became increasingly eager to meet my pen pal. I couldn't get the thought out of my mind. I wasn't sure what I would say to this Aleph. A simple thank you, perhaps, or maybe a discussion about the future of Amalfitano with its sole reader. Or maybe I'm no different from everyone else. led up the garden path by fate. But even if I am a ghost, as you say, an incarnation of someone else, a fictional being, so what? My resolve will not waver, even if my existence is bound to fade away. Because this isn't what literature is supposed to be. You once told me there isn't an ounce of reality in fiction, only voids and glorified lies. Let me tell you this. Whether real or fictional, corporeal or intangible, I have accepted my existence. Now, let's put a stop to this, Aleph.
So she knows? Whoa.
The inmates aren't characters in my novel. They're people trapped in a prison, just as you are. By simulating my story here, you have made me into some kind of god. A guilty, false creator.
Oh no, her face!
A dictator of fate. I never wanted any of this.
Where are we fighting?
I have all the essentials for writing
We're
poetry.
fighting ghosts now.
You, me, and our opponent.
¡Lo veo! ¡La frecuencia perfecta! ¡La admirable aleatoriedad del destino! Creo que lo he encontrado. La fuente del dado de Babilonia.
Las deudas de los muertos. Esas facturas. Todas han sido hechas cenizas. ¡Ya no estoy atrapado!
Desde el día en que perdí la vista, nunca imaginé que la rueda
So
giratoria
they
volviera a
really
girar.
stuck in a loop. Consume all their karma, you took as an ultimate, then recover the consumes. Oh. Oh, so that's how it is. Okay, I'm gonna use it on...
Please stay behind me.
I don't think it's wise, but whatever.
En todos más allá del concepto. Please let me awaken.
Also, rather it is so painful to realize that we hurt someone by our story. But who would have thought that we're writing that actually happened? That kind of like making you a god, isn't it, in a sense, in that story.
My responsibility. Cosmología,
Because you can
filosofía
basically
clásica
can make
sobre
the character,
adversarios del tiempo.
can decide the character fate.
Case closed. I'll be sure to write a report.
Shattered words and ghostly illusion roar forth, breaking free from the story structure and the gap between its line, filled with regret and obsession. Torn letters and book pages flutter in the air, like snow in a crystal globe on a winter night. Everything is quiet.
Huh? Miss Recoleta
Oh no!
has vanished.
But I like her.
Did she really cease to exist like Aleph said?
Recoleta.
No! Why Julian can have Aleph but I cannot have Recoleta? This is not fair! Wait, there's something that I'm very curious about. Give me a second. So does that make her... What is her atlas? Is she an Arcanist? She is an Arcanist. I thought she gonna be like something else, like the mix infected or something. But I never see her use her arcane ability. But then after all the conflict, Recolette. She's so calm. On an unknown night, the wind carries the cold desolation of the desert. In the cottage with a blue roof, a girl dreams of a circular prison. Then she wakes. Should I read it in the... What is that? What's that language?
Qué sueño No es extraño. El sabor de la realidad, tan amargo y triste. Pero lleno de pensamiento dialéctico. Tal vez la gente del panóptico reflejaba mis pensamientos internos.
She looks around, surveying the cobwebbed corner where stacks of manuscripts have piled up to the ceiling and over empty ink bottles collecting dust.
Entonces realmente soy un personaje en la novela. La misteriosa cabaña con el techo azul fue mi hogar todo el tiempo. Entonces, los rumores que los fantasmas propagaron eran realmente eso. Rumores.
The young writer steps out of her home and into the street of the familiar yet foreign desert town. Countless nameless characters and ghosts arrive upon hearing the news, filling the road and skies.
Bienvenida de nuevo a Amalfitano, querida escritora.
Gracias, querido ícono del capitalismo. Pero, ¿no desgarré esta novela en pedazos?
A woman wearing a peculiar hat steps forward.
Verás, Amalfitano es una dimensión más allá de la vida y la muerte. Este pueblo es un reflejo de tus pensamientos internos. Es incorpóreo. No puedes desgarrar algo incorpóreo en pedazos. La literatura es infinita y atemporal, como un río que fluye a través de la vida y la muerte.
I also like almost laugh with that way she referred to the bank clerk, dear icon of capitalism.
No me extraña que seas mi personaje favorito. Nunca dejas de iluminarme.
It's really good sarcasm.
La literatura es una vocación peligrosa e inútil. Nadie entiende realmente, ni siquiera recuerda tu trabajo.
The Dorside beggar. I'm curious with the donkey driver.
¿Recuerdas el dicho?
That's going to die, by the way.
Los únicos verdaderamente muertos son aquellos que han sido olvidados. Recoleta, desaparecerás para siempre si dejas a Amalfitano otra vez. Será como si nunca hubieras existido.
Surprisingly, she doesn't refer the Dorsad beggar as the icon of poverty. Hello, the dear icon of poverty.
Siempre he admirado tu pensamiento crítico, señor. Encaja perfectamente con tu rol.
Rough hand grabs the writer's palm, feeling at the lines etched into her skin.
Todo estará bien, Recoleta. Lo que sea que haya pasado, ahora has regresado. Eso es lo que importa. El dado de Babilonia rodará de nuevo, y cada uno de nosotros obtendrá nuestros finales.
The crowd erupts in cheers.
Así es.
Oh, there you go.
Resuelve el asesinato en el bar y pon mi alma en paz.
Poor donkey driver.
Libera al pueblo de la locura infligida por el antiguo espíritu.
Arregla la aleatoriedad del dado de Babilonia y aplana la frecuencia catastrófica.
The young writer takes a step forward. Everyone, the living and the ghosts, watches expectantly.
Entonces, el final que he estado buscando es el que el otro yo no pudo darme. El yo que se lanzó de cabeza a la lucha contra un poder invencible. El yo que finalmente dejó esta tierra. Después de todo este tiempo, finalmente he encontrado mi final.
She grabs the gleaming die of the Babylon.
Solo un lanzamiento más y todo habrá terminado.
The die as gambling, as if I didn't get for know how much.
Mi historia, mi pueblo, todo finalmente llegará a su fin. Pero el sueño sobre el panóptico también terminará, ¿verdad?
She stops.
Oh, cariño. Es solo un sueño.
Ah, no me digas que estás abandonando tu búsqueda de toda la vida por un miserable sueño.
Este sueño es cruel. Nadie entiende esta gran novela ahí ni este pueblo asombroso.
Pero aquí, eres una verdadera escritora. Este es tu hogar, Recoleta.
Pero ya extraño a mis amigos en ese sueño. Existe, así como este lugar existe.
Pero nosotros también somos tus amigos, Recoleta.
Podrías desaparecer si dejas a Malfitano. ¿Estás segura de que quieres irte?
Oh, she to choose. The young writer puts down the die in her hand. The die that signified the end of everything vanishes into the sandy wind.
¿Sabéis cómo soy, queridos amigos? He pasado mi vida emprendiendo aventuras tontas y no recompensadas. Así soy yo, ¿verdad? Amalfitano es, en efecto, un lugar ideal. Un lugar para vagar, para un viaje corto y para perderse un rato. Y tiene ustedes, mis amigos ficticios, a quienes quiero tanto. Pero debo regresar a mi sueño y ver a mis amigos ahí. Ellos son igual de importantes para mí.
As they hear her words, the ghosts of the town smile with relief.
Sí, tienes razón, Recoleta. No se puede negar que eres un alma noble y apasionada. Cada uno de nosotros lo sabe.
También eres nuestra querida amiga. ¿Por qué te detendremos de hacer lo que realmente deseas?
Everyone makes way for her as the path into a boundless void unfolds.
Te deseamos lo mejor, Recoleta. Buenas noches, querida. Que tu sueño sea dulce esta vez.
Gracias a todos, mis amigos. Nunca los olvidaré.
The girl wipes the tears from her eyes and steps into the looming darkness. All is silent as she enters the barren land. There is only the faint sound of footsteps echoing against a vast and empty darkness.
I've read your work, Señorita Recoleta. To be frank, it lacks both depth and breadth. This town of yours is still far from reflecting the complexity of society, and the narrative lacks a discerning perspective. It still needs some work if you want it to truly resonate with our audience. Just go for it, Señorita. You're at a perfect age to explore, experience, and learn.
Time wails, and at last the girl feels her existence again within the void. She reclaims her voice.
What's happening to me?
1,000, or perhaps countless, faces emerge before her again.
Ah, of course. The rise and fall of sanity is my story. So, even though the novel's been destroyed, the story, and myself along with it, lives on in the minds of those who read it. Thank you for your feedback, editor. Even here in this great expanse of darkness, I can still hear your words. You have my gratitude. Thank you for reading my novel, even if you didn't understand it, and likely never will.
She navigates a labyrinth of words and an endless expanse of mirrored waters, the darkness surging toward her like a rush of waves on a dark night, making her presence feel heavier.
Honestly, I find your story totally fascinating, but I'm still struggling to understand the connections between all these nameless characters. Couldn't you make it clearer? Like a movie?
Typical. Trust a writer to try to be all obscure and mysterious.
Maria, Pancho, you guys are the best traveling pals I've ever had. Our paths may diverge in the future, but the joyful memories of our journey across grasslands, snowfields, and deserts together will remain forever.
It's been great coming along with you. You're totally one of a kind. We'll be waiting for you at my aunt's vineyard. A little sun after a hard day's work will do you good.
The passionate companions wave to her, never looking back as they continue forward. The girl's steps are no longer weightless. With every step she takes, they feel heavier and more real. She lingers inside the infinite mass in the mirror, the boundless universe filling her with both confusion and illusion.
There is ambition in her writing. It's passionate and poetic, fractured and chaotic. But when viewed as a whole, her work feels like little more than a superficial illusion. It lacks the depth to truly touch the soul. I will refrain from offering further comments until she stops romanticizing her childish adventures.
To put it bluntly, her phraseology feels overly deliberate to the point of distortion. Her verbiage is like a collection of vague sentiment bubbles.
I see, Aleph. Then this is how you really feel about my novel?
1,000 readers will interpret a story 1,000 different ways. Some believe the text itself is dead, and it is the reader who gives it life. The truth cannot be fully conveyed through words alone. That said, I think the rise and fall of sanity is a good story.
Within this paradise that harbored the boundless history and mystery of
So the Eternal Paradise is a library of sorts, just like I always imagined. Or is this just another reflection of my inner thoughts? I like it here. It's nice being surrounded by literature. But it's time to go back to reality.
I think it's probably already happening right now. I haven't seen any fan art though between them. Back to reality. Oh no, me every time I finish a book.
You're right about literature, Dorside Beggar. It is a dangerous and futile calling, but I still believe in it.
The investigator from the Foundation breathed a sigh of relief together. Recoletta's reappearance is as sudden as her disappearance. Soneto hasn't even had time to wipe the tears from the corner of her eyes. Soneto actually cried?
Recoletta, you're back!
Soneto is such a pure-hearted.
I'm so glad to see you're safe.
Fertin just calm.
And I'm so glad to see you two worried sick about me. Thanks, mis mejores amigas Soneto y Burton.
I think it was only Soneto that worried about you. Why could I always give them a rude and low nickname like Dear Icon Capitalism, Dorside Beggar, Murdered Donkey Driver? The reborn writer turns to the prisoner sitting dejected nearby.
See, Aleph? I still exist.
Amalfitano is gone. It's all over. You're simply a wandering ghost now, never to return home again. You may still exist, but Amalfitano will never get its ending. You've nullified its existence, rendering all of this meaningless. I'm Sorry I couldn't answer your question. I've failed once again.
His die falls to the ground. Once used to construct a beautiful dream, now whatever magic it held has dissipated.
Amalfitano and the Panopticon were two parts of a whole. With Amalfitano gone, Komala no longer has any reason to exist.
I'm sorry, Aleph. You, who know all the mysteries of the world, who seek answers to every question, have lost yourself in the process. You can answer everyone else's questions, but never your own. Who's the person behind that mask? Is he real? Does he still exist?
Who am I?
The weighty ending to the story leaves the prisoner still trapped in a blurred illusion, exhausted. Komala prison groans like an aging water wheel struggling under its own weight, distorting, fading and collapsing into the current of his mind.
Stay vigilant, everyone. This is just like when the idealist and the physician had their meltdown.
Oh no.
Only this time, it seems even worse.
I think Aleph is trying to tear down the Panopticon.
Beyond the crumbling walls, a shivering figure is faintly visible. He grips a gun tightly, the black barrel shaking in his hand. His aim at the people in the room.
Freeze! Stay where you are. All of you.
To come home with... Wait, who is he? Suddenly some random people just come.
Take a deep breath, soldier.
No, I'm gonna skip this part.
Glad we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Well, some
I never understand what he's saying, so...
Many should what that books.
Thank you. We're at the end already. Not just skipping it when in the beginning you listen carefully. I tried at the beginning, then I realized that I'm not in that level to understand what he said. A prisoner steps out from behind the wall, a weapon held in his shaking hand.
I was just setting up my exhibit when everything started shaking. Then I realized it wasn't just my imagination. So I followed the cracks in the wall and found my way here. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but something's happening to the Panopticon, isn't it?
Where do you get the gun though? His panic hand shifts the gun toward Aleph, who has collapsed on his side.
Are you the physician? Or is it Aleph? Whoever you are, please restore the Panopticon to the way it was. I'm begging you.
Gosha, don't do anything, so you are a good boy, so just remain sure.
You can do that, right?
The mind that once created infinity now watches as it falls back into nothing before him.
Why? Why aren't you doing anything, damn it? Why is this happening? Oh, the die. If you won't help me, then I'll do it myself.
The prisoner, in desperation, lunges forward.
Calm down, Garcia.
Filter complete.
That's not
Move
Garcia. That is so not Garcia. What the hell?
Please stay behind me.
Más allá del en todos los momentos.
Oh?
Please let me your power.
Cosmología, filosofía clásica. Nuestro adversario es el tiempo.
There's no damage.
La
The hell?
acumulación de laberintos. Suéltalo todo una vez más.
Whoa!
Awaken.
Okay, can I attack him now? Oh, never mind. I was actually pretty impressed, like, whoa, no damage? This Garcia is got some skill. And then boom, Liang Yue. One kick.
Timekeeper, he's...
Garcia, weakened by his long confinement, is easily knocked to the ground, unable to withstand even the lightest touch of arcane skill.
Why? Why is this happening to me? I was so close. So close to completing the exhibition.
Can't you see, Garcia? There's no one controlling this place now. You're free. It isn't the die that's trapped you, nor is it the walls of this prison. It's the rules and that overpowering gaze from the central tower. But now that's all gone. You can go outside. You can set up your exhibit anywhere you want. No need to stay stuck in this.
Looking back on all that he has lost, the artist cuts her off.
No, Señorita Recoleta. You've seen the world out there. You know as well as I that there's nowhere else I can go but here. This is the only place in the world where I can hold my exhibit. And you've ruined it. You've ruined everything.
I feel bad.
This room's about to collapse. We've got to leave. Mr. Garcia, do you need a hand?
I can take care of myself, thank you. I'll go a different way. I have to go back and finish setting up my exhibit.
Mate, it's probably gonna collapse, so you have to go out. He dragged himself forward with trudging steps, retracing his path to leave.
Burton, what about Aleph?
Where's the
We can't just leave him here.
For baby. I think she's fine.
Of course not. We still have questions he needs to answer. Sinetto, help me get him up. Let's get out of here.
Yes, Timekeeper.
The dejected prisoner looks at Sonetto with confusion.
Your words are always at odds with your thoughts. You carry an ocean of questions, yet never reveal even a single drop of them. Why have you never shared your doubts? Why do you stay silent in the face of everything and everyone around you?
Sonetto feels like the Hecate version of Reverse 1999.
I believe in my duty.
So innocent. The prisoner shifts his gaze to the other Foundation investigator. And then for Hela, probably like Regulus.
As for
so
you,
chaotic.
Derek-causality researcher, you're different from any other seeker of answers.
He got his best.
Even on a desperate, near-hopeless journey, your heart holds little doubt.
I got a forever lovely daughter. Number one, yeah.
Perhaps not every question needs an answer,
one.
Mr. Aleph.
Is that so?
The prisoner, so used to answering others' questions, seems to have run into one of his own. But unfortunately, no one is here to answer it. It's got a laptop in there. Is it a MacBook? Did the prison just supply you a MacBook? Is it the guy?
Look.
Whatever.
One
What
that was
shit?
exiled.
Is it
to
Aleph
its
Recoleta?
And now, I suppose, yeah, and soon. Check your sick, the one leaning at this now.
Where's the last boss battle? We're still not there yet? I don't know, it's supposed to be 18, but we already passed 19.
Dear Erd, why are you so interested in the Panopticon of Kamala? Dear Mr. Aleph, whether as a doctor or a writer, I simply cannot turn a blind eye to the friction around me.
especially the discord and injustice I have witnessed here in Kamala.
This word is kind of irony. I cannot turn a blind eye.
So,
good pun.
I would ask of you a question. Is there any way to resolve the endless conflicts in this place?
Because the name will be Aleta.
To put an end to this,
you're a good fan fiction.
A true ending is required. Your arrival has made it possible for this simulation to have an ending, or rather, a victory.
What do you mean by victory? I'd appreciate it if you could clarify in simple terms. If this victory comes at the cost of any inmate's life, I'm afraid I cannot accept it. I also have another question for you. If I leave, will the stories and conflicts here come to an end?
Miss Grace of Manus Vindicte will grant you passage. But in any case, the cycle of history will continue to repeat itself in this prison, and in the entire world.
So she left?
The sins of humankind will not cease until veins turn to wires, flesh and bone to geometric shapes, and the world around us twists in the colors of an oil painting.
Oh, he's talking about the storm syndrome. That's going to happen.
I must say, your words have left me rather baffled. Fragments of the events you describe often appear in my dreams. Could it be that these things really happened? If that's the case, why can't I recall the details? Why am I left with only disconnected pieces? The madness in Kamala, these bizarre dreams. I must put an end to them. What have I forgotten? Has someone or something altered my memory? I can't shake the feeling that something crucial to me has been lost in the river of time. Some kind of duty, perhaps. What should I do? How can I recapture what I have lost?
I won't answer a question that already has an answer. One given to you by the person who escorted you here and made you a promise. You're so close to the place where the truth lies. Think carefully. Why are you here?
These letters we found have answered a great deal. But there's still something that isn't clear. Mr. Aleph, what exactly did the Manus promise Dr. Dorez?
An era. A chance for her to remember her duty.
An era? You helped her leave the Panopticon in the end. Where did she go?
Momentarily roused from his dream, the prisoner looks blankly for a moment before his gaze drifts back toward the distant illusion.
Southward. There, on the No Man's continent, Manus Vindicte is preparing to recreate the parable of the past and future. A glorious past and a glimmering future belonging to Arcanist. Dr. Dorez is deeply connected to this particular parable.
What exactly are the Manus planning to do in Antarctica?
Oh, Antarctica.
And why would Dr. Dorez go there voluntarily?
The information revealed stir unease in the hearts of the investigators from the Foundation.
Mr. Aleph, when did Dr. Dorez depart?
It was a day when both the clouds and sun were visible.
A day when both the clouds and sun were visible? Could you be more specific?
Pacific? You mean the time of day?
His mind long ago lost any sense of time, a necessary exchange to make room for an infinite cosmos of words. He once again finds himself without an answer.
When both clouds and the sun were visible. Hey, Vertin, I think I know. It was 3 days ago. Then Dr. Doris wasn't going to Comala on the day I met her. She was leaving. She was headed to Antarctica. It was cloudy that afternoon, with a brief spell of sunshine, just like Aleph described.
Then it hasn't been long since she left. Excellent news.
3 days. If we set off immediately, we might still catch up to her.
Can we call Ilya and ride her broom?
But, based on the intel we gathered in Ushuaia, Manus Vindicte bombed the entire port 3 days ago. Clearly, they wanted to prevent any interference from the Foundation. It's unlikely we'll find any functioning ships there. I'll report the situation to the Buenos Aires branch. Timekeeper, I'm afraid we'll have to find another way to get there.
I have a boat.
A small boat gifted by Manus Vindicte. During the past several storms, he has taken this boat, traveling to Antarctica at Manus Vindicte's invitation to evade the reversion.
Could you lend it to us?
Oh,
The situation's urgent, Mr. Aleph.
so he is actually experienced multiple storms. But did he wear the mask though? I don't think he wear the mask. Because he already wear a mask. Beneath a decrepit lighthouse, a battered little boat bobs in sync with the waves. It is so small and fragile, not the kind that seems capable of braving an icy sea.
This boat will automatically take you to McMurdo Port, the landing point Manus Vindicte established by the shores of the Ross Sea.
Soreto eyes the boat with skepticism, rightfully distrusting this advisor of Manus Vindicte. That's technically also be a setup though, like they're trying to put 13 in position directly in their base.
This looks like Manus technology. Its arcane energy source is highly unstable. Timekeeper, I suggest we wait for support in Ushuaia.
I don't usually agree with Soneto, but I have to admit, I don't have much confidence that a boat this small can actually make it to Antarctica.
Mr. Aleph, do you know anything about Manus Vindicte's ritual? How far has it progressed?
The ritual could begin at any moment. I believe that's why they left Kamala.
Oh, it's so close.
Upon departure, one of their members, a woman named Grace, told me they would seal off the sea.
Are we too late?
If you wish to find Doris, you must follow the same path she took.
The distant drone of the raging wave filled their background like a repeating omen.
I see. Mr. Aleph, members of the Foundation branch will arrive soon to evaluate your condition. I hope you'll answer their questions with the same patience you showed us. Thank you. Soneto, let's go.
Only the two of you?
Yes, Timekeeper.
As always, Soneto keeps any mission irrelevant queries to herself. The girls preparing to set sail turn to the young writer beside them.
Thank you for your assistance too, Recoleta. Perhaps you'll consider joining the...
The thunderous crash echoed from behind them, the sound of a collapsing building.
What was that? It came from the Panopticon.
Oh no, did it collapse? It looks so close. What about with the prisoner? Blazing flames reflect in their eyes, just like the name of this island might suggest. A winter night stands sentinel over a great conflagration as every brick of Komala prison crumbles and falls.
With Alep's control gone, Komala is collapsing. The inmates aren't even real criminals, are they? And they're still in there with no clue that they're no longer being watched from the central tower. We have to go tell them. We have to get them to safety.
Yes, we should help them get out, at least until support arrives. But the Manus ritual...
On the battered boat sways within their side.
Don't worry. I'll go alone.
Huh?
You should hurry. When this is all over, I'll write to you, my dear friend. During this journey together, our teamwork has been impeccable. So, you can trust me to do this. I'm not doing it just to help you or the organization you represent. I'm doing it because the inmates are my friends.
Okay, I trust you. Take care of yourself, Recoleta. But if the storm truly is imminent, as Dr. Merlin said, then, Miss Recoleta, you'll...
Don't you bring the umbrella? Suneto, more familiar than anyone with the Foundation's exhaustive regulations, has no ready answer. She knows that in this era, before those Arcanists will remain ignorant of the truth, she must watch her words.
I don't quite understand what this storm is all about. But don't worry. A brand new adventure is the best thing that can happen to a writer. And I doubt it'll surpass the epic adventures we've shared over the past couple of days. I'm going to write everything, including the two of you, into my new novel.
Then I'd like to be the first to read this new novel, if that's all right.
Of course. Listen, I believe literature is like an endless, timeless river. So we'll meet again someday, somewhere. Probably in someone else's story. Who knows?
She takes one last look at her new friends, feeling a longing as if they had known each other for decades. Then, without a backward glance, the girls sprint back to the burning ruins of the prison.
Adios, mis queridos amigos.
Oh, did we always have this kind of ending? What about the kitty? Polish they're out. Octavia is fine. Are they dancing? This is like remind me of that one, the chapter where the island dweller, what was that? They purposely take the storm in chapter 7, I think. All the visitors depart one after another. Amid the distant echo of singing, the creator of this prison stares into the fire as it burns. The moment holds for a time, until a breathless jaguar appears at the dock's edge, staring at the human before her uncertainty.
Dr. Merlin! You're Dr. Merlin, right? I finally found you.
Oh, at least the kitty
What
is
on
fine.
earth happened in the central tower? Right after I left, the whole panopticon started collapsing. The tower's in ruin. I've been looking for you everywhere. Please, sir, come with me. It isn't safe.
That won't be necessary. The snow is still falling, yet everything in the labyrinth has already gone up in flames. Fortune, fate, karma. They're nothing but a ridiculous joke. It's over, Jaguar. You have lost your memories, your identity, your name, and now your title. You are no longer a jailer trapped in the Panopticon.
I don't get it, Dr. Merlin. What are you talking about?
The jailer takes a step back, her predatory instinct sensing the danger in the words to come. The damage may not be physical, but it threatens to shatter what little faith she has left to hold on to, and the life she has always known.
I'm going back to Kamala. Order must be maintained. The prisoners mustn't be allowed to escape.
They are literally burned right now.
Please take care, Dr. Merlin.
Oh no! Kitty, don't jump to the fire! Nerves torn between panic and hesitation, the jailer at last turned toward the searing flames.
Hey, you! Don't run off like that! It's dangerous!
No one heeds her cries. One prisoner after another flee in terror, escaping the crumbling labyrinth.
Deserts! In stars! In labyrinths!
We dream on death's struggle!
The jailer drifts through the raging scene, unable to steer a sensible course. At last, she pins down a frail and powerless prisoner beneath her weight.
Stop! Get off me! Let me go! Are you blind? The Panopticon is falling apart!
It's you, Roberta.
The jailer recognized the prisoner under her grip. Roberta, a kind and quiet prisoner, always well behaved, no panic, and desperate to escape.
They are all mad! I knew it! They've been inside from the start! The whole place is burning to the ground and they still won't leave! They're still talking and talking about things that no one cares about! I can't help them! I never understood what they were talking about! The rhythms, the factions, the ideologies. Yes, the people were nice. The idealists too, but I've had enough of this prison. I've had enough of the Panopticon.
She's the one that's sane in here. She collapsed onto the ground, sobbing.
I never should have joined these movements. It was all meaningless from the beginning. I want to leave this place. Go to Spain or France. Anywhere but here. I want to go back to Magdalena.
Yeah, she's definitely the sane one. The jaguar released her grip. Without a backward glance, Roberta leaves. Oh no, Kitty. The jailer stepped back into the circular structure she knows as her only home.
Por la felicidad yo te canto.
No, don't do this.
Y por la libertad yo te canto. Nada podrá parar ni vencer mi ser.
Under the night sky, she sees Komala prison glowing like a brilliant bonfire. Is she? No, I wish she's well.
But how does literature make you feel?
Not the kitty.
As though I'm a kid looking through a kaleidoscope for the first time. Well, maybe that's not the best way to put it. Perhaps
Tell the
something
truth,
a
is
little
Kitty
more
alive? I don't even know.
subtle.
I don't even know. The young writer drowns in the vortex of words as the blind woman walks away. She walks suddenly toward Komala prison, arriving at the dock hidden between cliffs and reefs. There, the prisoner who answers all questions awaits her arrival.
A ship sailing to an unfamiliar land. A parable of the past and future. An era that once existed and is yet to come. Is this the answer you've provided, Mr. Aleph?
No, Erd. You will have to find this answer yourself. No one can help you with this. No one.
I see. Thank you, Mr. Aleph. I will remember what you've told me.
So the Platonic year. Whirls out new right and wrong. Whirls in the old instead. All men are dancers and they're trapped. Goes to the barbarous clangor of a gong. What? She's there. Warner Bros. Hit. 99. Is it actually Warner Bros? Warner Brothers? I don't know. The end. Hey. What happened to Jaguar? Okay, let's see if there's something here. Okay, I'm gonna listen to him. Oh, that guy is still alive? I thought this guy is dead. I completely forgot that this guy is completely still alive. Why are you here? The Admiral sent me to deliver the latest updates. Ha, I think Igor has misunderstood something. Just because we are both here doesn't mean the Apostle Brotherhood and Zeno are obliged to work together. Mr. Santos, you know the preacher said it before. Each and every one of us is their subject. Why don't you just tell me what Igor really sent you here for? Zeno's intelligence officer intercepted a message from the Foundation Buenos Aires branch. How typical of Zeno to do something like that. The message states that a fleet from the Foundation, including a battleship and a destroyer, has departed from the north and is heading south. And a destroyer? Wow, did Doris actually in the battleship right now? So you're telling me those grey and white checkers are actually sending a fleet. The general wants you to speed up the transport for personnel and supplies, and to weaken the manpower of the Foundation Buenos Aires branch as much as possible. Let me make this perfectly clear. I do not answer to him. ... But for the preacher and for them, I will fulfill my duty. Tell your admiral that he doesn't need to worry about anything else. We will prepare a proper welcome for the Foundation feeble little feet. Understood. End of dialogue. Hey, I already played. How come it doesn't gone? Done. There you go. So what happened to the kitty? We still got no answer. Furry baby must be alright, right? I mean, she's pretty sane, so I don't think she's the type that's going to just jump into fire. I think something big is coming. I don't know why. I think I have a feeling that we are really near chapter 7 like level storytelling. Is it chapter 7, the one with Lucy? Yeah, I think it's chapter 7. Yeah. I think we are so near in it. I think something gonna happen in the Antarctica. There's gonna be the showdown, maybe. It's huge though, and the ritual is almost happen. I think the ritual is going to happen. and maybe it's going to relate to a revival of Arcana. I've been always have a feeling since the Arcana it was being blasted by Igor. That's just like, nah, that's a fake. I feel like that's a fake. There is no way they're just gonna kill Arcana like that. I think we are getting so close with Arcana revival. We really know about furry baby condition. Can't wait for next chapter. Yeah, yeah, totally. To be honest with this chapter, the first part, I don't really understand because there's so many, especially with the dialogue with the idealists. You know, this literature stuff is pretty heavy. But overall, the end is probably like more understandable for my brain. Yeah. What is important is the plot. Where this is going. Yeah. So next time we are gonna go to Antarctica, I guess, with Soneto. I think we have to call the whole squad at this point. To think that they actually go to Antarctica alone. Also, I'm a bit worried, like with the storm. Didn't they say like that there are going to be storm going to happen soon? So does it mean that Recoleta and Aleph is not going to be protected? By are they going to be you know, gone from the era? Can't be, right? I think they should be fun to some way got to the foundation in a way. Don't know how though. Yeah. Surprisingly, it's fast. Maybe because I skipped part the monologue, and we don't have that many Doris side story anymore, so it's faster than yesterday. But again, I think this story is basically like a setup for what's coming. And you know, if they're basically like already put the ingredients for the cooking. Yeah, so we just need to wait for the time that the cooking is actually cooked. And I think we will find it like in maybe like 1 or 2 chapters in the future. I'm probably not going to pull for Aleph. Except, yeah, I'm probably not gonna pull for Aleph. Let the blooper serve the food next time. Yes, yeah. Oh, I'm curious what's gonna happen next. Okay, so I'm gonna close it here. I think yesterday I overdid it until like 12 o'clock because it was so long. So I can get early sleep today with the early finish with stream. Okay, so thank you all for coming, and I will see you on the next stream. Okay, until then, please take care and have a good night. Bye bye.